Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and I'm going to be answering your manga related questions. I asked over on my Instagram to send me any question that you may have, whether it be manga recommendations, more about manga collecting, content creation, anything manga related that you had, doubts or curiosity about. So I got a lot of questions. I'm gonna try my best to get through as many as possible. So one of the questions that I got was, when did I start collecting manga? I started collecting manga in fall of 2020. Yes, fall of 2020. It feels like forever ago. Another question that I got was, what's the best shop to buy manga online? I really don't think there's one that's like the best. I tend to just shop around, see what's in stock at some retailer, because what's in stock at Barnes & Noble might not be in stock at Right Stuff Anime or Books A Million, so I just tend to shop around. The websites that I tend to use the most are Right Stuff Anime, barnesandnoble.com, booksamillion.com, alibris.com, and then for my Japanese manga, I tend to use either CD Japan or Amazon Japan. Those are the websites that I tend to shop the most often from. And I do use Amazon too in the US. I try not to use too much because I rather support like other, bookstores, but when I can't find a certain book and they have it in stock, then I just go with them. I got a question from Ivan. I did a Comic-Con with Ivan back in November. Yes, November. So the question is, what was your first manga? My first manga was Sailor Moon. Literally the whole lot. I didn't even buy one volume. I was just like, I'm gonna do it all. So Sailor V, Sailor Moon 1 through 12, and the 2 short stories. Like, I just went for it all. What was the first manga you read? So similar to that answer, it was Sailor Moon, but my first non-Sailor Moon manga that I read was, I feel like it was either Komi Can Communicate or Fly Me to the Moon. It was one of those two. And then after that came Perfect World. So those were like my first 3 manga series that were completely unrelated to Sailor Moon. Manga or anime? I don't know. I think it depends on the series. So I can't really answer that question. I like them both. I got asked, what do you use to edit for TikToks and YouTube videos? So for TikToks, I do all the recording, all the editing on the TikTok app. I very rarely will edit videos outside of TikTok, and when I do that, it's usually through CapCut or through Final Cut Pro on my computer, and that's the software that I use to edit my YouTube videos. But I would say about 98% of my videos, well, TikTok videos, have been recorded and edited all through the TikTok app. Any mangas you recommend with older characters like in college? So a lot of my recommendation videos do tend to have characters that are adults. So obviously you have the Sweat and Soap, the Wotakoi that I talk about a lot. You also have anything by Maki and Joji has adult characters, An Incurable Case of Love, Happy Marriage, Agent of My Heart. Any spicy manga usually has adult characters as well, especially if it's anything by TL Comics, so Fire Your Fingertips, Sweet Punishment, Nexo Yushu, all of those adult characters. Best way to take care of your manga? Honestly, I don't do anything to take care of it. I know some people buy like the special protectors and like sleeves and stuff like that, but honestly, like, books are books. They're gonna get damaged. They're gonna get some yellowing over time. It's normal. Wear and tear is gonna happen. Especially if it's a paperback book, so don't stress out too much about it. Along those lines, I got asked, used library copies come laminated. Do you know how to safely remove the lamination? I think you can try using rubbing alcohol, but honestly, even if I have a few library books, I just leave them as is. When is it best to buy manga in terms of sales, discounts, and deals? So this is going to vary based on retailer. Barnes & Noble usually will have some type of coupon whenever there's a national holiday. Books A Million usually has something similar, and they also run different promotions. I don't even know their calendar, but if you sign up for their newsletter, you'll get notified of their promotions. Right Stuff Anime usually has different promotions. Some are weekly, sometimes they'll just run, a promotion based on a certain publisher, but they will run 2 big sales. So one of them, and one to watch out for, is their birthday sale, which will run for a whole month. Each week there will be a brand new sale item or promotion going on. Plus you can still take advantage of whatever previous promotion, you know, happened. So their birthday sale is definitely one to watch out for. They also do have a sale closer to Christmas time, and there are Cyber Monday sales as well, so I would take advantage of those as well. I feel like I said as well a lot. I got asked, do you ever try to buy cheap / used manga, or do you stick with new manga? I mean, I will buy new manga if it's a brand new series. Otherwise, I will buy used. I have plenty of videos both on TikTok as well as YouTube going to Book Off. Book Off is a used bookstore here in Southern California, so if I can find it used, even better for me, because not only am I saving money, but I'm also supporting a really good business. What are some manga tropes you avoid? Oh, this one. This one's a good one. So the trope that I avoid at all costs is age gaps, especially age gaps between teens and adults, and that's something that just makes me uncomfortable. If it's a really old series like a Cardcaptor Sakura, where it's not the main focus, I can kind of let it slide. It was a different thing back in the 90s and it is, you know, now. But the ones I do have problems with are contemporary age gap stories. Things that are being licensed recently by publishers. And I know the age gap or the age limits in Japan are different from Western countries. But that being said, when an American publisher licenses that story, they're licensing it for a Western audience. And yes, I do find it problematic when you have a 16-year-old girl getting married to a 27 or 26-year-old man. That's what happens in Takane and Hana. That's one series that I know is quite popular on TikTok. I just can't bring myself to even buy it or read it. It just makes me very uncomfortable. Living Room Matsunaga-san is another one. As someone who is closer to age to the older men in those series, I just can't imagine looking at a child and being like, yes. It just makes me very uncomfortable. What time of day do you get the most reading done? So unfortunately, like many adults, I have a regular 9-to-5 job. That means as much as I would like to get some reading done in the mornings, I can't. So all the reading that I do is after I clock out from work. I got asked, how do I organize my collection? So this is going to be very personal. It varies a lot, and my collection is all over the place. So a big chunk of my portion is my shoujo manga collection, where I do have just shelves dedicated to that. So yeah, that's my biggest chunk, my shoujo manga. Then I do have a smaller section for more shonen series and things that just don't fit anywhere else. And then I do have 2 smaller bookshelves that at the moment, you know, I feel like I need to rearrange a little bit. They're just manga thrown in there. It doesn't really make sense. And I do have some of my clamp collection as well. And then in my bedroom, I do have my Life Lessons with Uramichi Oni-san manga and my Sailor Moon manga separate, because I do like to display it with other merch. I also do have a shelf with Evangelion manga, like non-Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's just like side stories, and Puella Magi Madoka Magica, because I do like to display those with their figures as well. And then I also do have my Jujutsu Kaisen in a very similar area with, you know, some merch and figures that I've purchased. And I do like to keep my BL and GL manga in a separate shelf. And last but not least, we have mainly what is my Josei area, with the exception of Neon Genesis Evangelion that's on top. I do have a lot of figures, so I like to display the figures with the Neon Genesis Evangelion manga. Then if you go to the first shelf, you'll see the Maki and Joji collection as well as my spicy manga. The second shelf has some of my Kodansha favorites as well as some other Josei manga. And then the bottom shelf, that's going to be my spice section. So we have just some spice licensed by Viz Shoujo Beat, as well as some Japanese manga as well. Ooh, thoughts on illegal manga websites. Okay, so I try not to promote them too much, but I do understand that sometimes there's just no other option than to read these scan and fan translations. So yeah, Some series just don't get licensed in English. Not everyone has the access to purchase that manga in a different language if they happen to speak another language. Like, I speak French, I speak Spanish. Not everyone is multilingual. Not everyone has the access or privilege to, you know, track down a manga that got licensed in a different country, pay for that manga, and pay for the shipping. So yes, you know, it sucks for the mangaka because yes, they're not getting, you know, any monetary compensation for people reading the manga illegally, but at the same time, if, you know, the manga community wants to grow and they want to read and have access to these series that just don't get licensed officially by publishers, there's really no other option. So whenever I do really like a work that I do happen to read illegally, because I mean, that's how I read the Dano Renai Nanka de Kikonai. Whenever I do like a work that much, I do go out of my way to buy that manga, even if it's in Japanese. That way the mangaka can get compensated for that. I can actually own their work. But again, that does come with privilege. I do like supporting the mangaka whenever I can. My friend Daisy asked, what series would you have liked to be shorter or longer? Shorter? I don't know. I think I'm okay with the length of most of the manga that I've read. The ones that I do wish were longer, an Incurable Case of Love, that one I've mentioned a few times. I do wish it was longer. I wish Maki would have stretched it out maybe to 10 volumes, giving us a nice ending, but I would have liked to have seen more of like their married life. This goes for a lot of BL and GL. I just wish the stories were longer. A lot of them are either one-shots or they're very short series with like, you know, 3 or 4 volumes. So I would like, you know, a long series. Give me like 10 volumes or more, like Dawn Center Crescent Moon being one of them, or Dining Table. If there's a manga size that I prefer, Viz, Seven Seas, larger Kodansha. So my ideal manga size is the Japanese size, like this guy, which also happens to be the same size as some of the French manga as well. So yes, this is Flower Comics. This is Kase Shoujo from France. I just like this size. I find it very comfortable to hold and read. I don't find the font to be too small. And plus, if you go out, these fit perfectly into any size, you know, purse. So I usually carry small purses like this, and these fit perfectly in there. What mangas are in my TBR list and how long is my TBR list? I don't even know. So I use a TBR cart now to keep things organized. Not everything that needs to be read is on the cart, obviously, because I have way more. But yeah, let me show you what I have. It's a mix of a bunch of stuff. There's some GL, there's some BL, there's some shonen manga, there's some shoujo manga, there's some josei. So I have a little bit of everything in there. Favorite mangakas, I do have a few. Obviously, I've spoken about her way too much. Maki and Joji, she's my queen of josei manga. I love her to pieces. Kitetsu Yamada, Sweat and Soap. I also really like Natsumi Ando, who has done Something's Wrong with Us, Kitchen Princess. Then we have Sumori Shita. I know Sumori Shita is a duo, but I really do like the way they work together. Kyusuke Motomi, who does Queen's Quality, Dengeki Daisy, Beastmasters, she's great. So those are some of my favorite ones. I got asked, what are the different types of manga? So this is a complex question. I've been actually getting asked this quite a bit. There's a few different ways to organize manga. You have by demographics, which is what you mostly hear about. That is your shoujo, your josei, your seinen, and your shonen. And what do these mean? So you have shoujo and shonen. They're both very similar because their demographics are young teenagers. You have shoujo, who are young teenage girls. You have shonen, who are for young teenage boys. Then you have josei and seinen. Again, very similar demographics, but you have josei, who is intended for older teens and adult women. Then you have seinen, who is intended for older teens and adult men. That being said, although those demographics exist, they do exist because all these series that we tend to read in volumes in Japan, they're published in magazines that get published weekly. So these magazines like Shonen Jump, like those set the demographics. I know those don't really affect us here in the US, but we still do tend to categorize the manga by those demographics one way or another. Does it really affect us? Not really. And then from there, each of those demographics will also have their genres. That is your romance, your slice of life, your horror, action. So yes, I mean, just like any other like genre of books, you'll have those in manga as well, but you'll find them within each demographic. So some of them are suitable for teens, and that's where you get your shonen and shoujo. Others will be suited for adults, and that's where you get your josei and your seinen. Have I ever decluttered a series that you regret? So not really. The only series that I've decluttered so far has been Love Me Not, that I was very happy to declutter because I did not like that series. How to start a manga collection with a budget. For physical manga, I would look into secondhand bookstores. In Southern California, we have Book Off. Over on the East Coast, you have stuff like Second and Charles, and you know, I don't even know because I don't live there, but there's other used bookstores in the East Coast, so I would recommend doing that. And always wait for some type of promotion, whether it be on Right Stuff Anime or Barnes & Noble or your Books A Million. That way you can save money on physical books as well. How do I keep track of all your mangas? So I actually made a video about this on TikTok a few months ago. My friend Steph got me to do a Google Doc just documenting everything that I own. So I do have things separated by demographic, as I said. So I have a shoujo section, I have my josei section, and then I go more into detail. So if I do buy something in Japanese, I will add a JP. If I buy something in French, I will add an FR. Anything that has that light yellow is completed, so I have a full collection. So this is a method that worked out for me. I know it also worked out for Steph. I do give access to my friend's Steph to look through my document. That way, if she happens to be at a bookstore and she sees something that I'm missing, she can buy it for me. I found that this has worked really well for me, so I highly encourage you to try this out. I know there's other apps as well, but this just, I keep it simple. The most asked question on TikTok and YouTube and everywhere are the post-it notes, the annotations. So again, I have a lot of videos about this. I have a full-length video on YouTube and a pinned video on my TikTok. So if you're ever curious, you can just look those up as you wish. So as you guys know, I do make content online. I mean, you're watching this video right now. So whenever I'm doing a video here on YouTube or on TikTok, I don't have the time to reread them. Like, I read them once. Maybe in the future I will reread them, but I'm not gonna reread them just in order to like film a video, if you get what I mean. So these annotations just give me an idea of what the story was about without having to reread them. So I have my own system. I encourage you to develop your own system. So each color means something different. I have light pink for cute romantic moments, a darker pink for more like serious romantic moments or kisses or stuff like that. Red is spice. I don't tend to use this one a lot actually. Orange is for drama, yellow is for funny moments, light green is for character information or important moments. Then we have the darker green for cute moments, teal for artwork that I liked, a darker blue for sad moments, and then light blue for what I call turning points. Yeah, I can tell you, like for Lovesick Ellie, I have some funny moments, I have some turning point moments, I have some cute moments, and then I have some more cute romantic moments. Strategies for acquiring hard to find series. I would encourage you to check out like secondhand options. So your book depository, Libris, even, you know, third-party Amazon resellers. You can find them. Sometimes you can find stuff there. Breaking into TikTok as a 25-year-old collector. Honestly, just go for it. Don't even let your age deter you from going for it. Just go for it. I mean, you're looking at a 32-year-old who fangirls about shoujo manga and 2D men. So honestly, age is nothing but a number. A lot of people on TikTok are 25 or older, especially in the manga TikTok community. So yeah, honestly, don't. 25 is super young. I consider you a baby, to to begin with. But yeah, don't let your age, you know, deter you from creating content, especially if it's anime or manga related. A lot of us in this community are older and we welcome you with open arms. What piqued your interest in reading manga? I just happened to be very bored in quarantine. I was rewatching Sailor Moon for the I don't even know what time. Decided to get the manga and read the manga, and then from there I don't know, I wanted to see what was out there. Then I just started discovering, you know, other series, and then I landed in manga TikTok and started discovering even more series. So yeah, the rest is history. Translating app recommendations, reading manga in Japanese when you don't speak Japanese. So I have made a video about this over on TikTok, and what I use is Papago. Not sponsored, but not sponsored, but this is what I use. I find that it does the best job with Japanese manga. Google Translate just doesn't do a good job, especially if there's any type of like texture, or you know, some panels just have some details to it, so Google Translate just doesn't pick up on it very well. But here you go, let's do a live demo. Papago. So you open this up, just make sure it's Japanese to English, click on image down here, and what you're going to do is take a picture of the page that you want to translate, and then from there it's going to scan it, and the only thing is, since the way Japanese is written is it's gonna be sideways, so you can read it. Translated everything. So he said that's tough, no matter how much you're a manager, don't interfere with that. So with translating apps, this is in general, it's going to translate things very literally. So some things just don't flow very well or just sound a bit off. So just bear in mind that that's going to happen. Sometimes you just have to like read this and, you know, kind of reword things a little bit in your mind. My friend Alex asked, what is something you want others to know before they start collecting manga? Don't compare yourself to other people. It's so easy to compare yourself to other creators, especially, and just see, you know, all the manga that they have. Some of them have, you know, their basement is their whole manga collection, or their attic is the whole manga collection, or they just have a whole office, you know, with stacks and stacks of manga. But the thing is, those collections, a lot of them took them years. I'm talking like 20 plus years to acquire. Some people have been collecting since they were children. Others, like myself, with quarantine, I found myself in probably the best financial place I've been in years. So I had the money to, you know, start building my collection quite rapidly. Collect at your own pace. I cannot emphasize that enough. Just collect at your own pace. Yes, things will sell out, but if it's a popular series, it will get restocked and reprinted, so just be patient. So this question was interesting. Thoughts on the manga community growing so much this year? There's also a second question, what series looks the most aesthetic on your shelf? The most aesthetically pleasing manga that I have is the Cardcaptor Sakura Collector's Edition. I think Kodansha did a beautiful job with these. I wish the Sailor Moon Eternal editions were nice hardcovers. So yes, I told myself I did not want to collect Cardcaptor Sakura again because I own all of the Tokyo Pop printing of Cardcaptor Sakura, but it's just so beautiful. Thoughts on the manga community growing so much this year? I mean, I joined the manga community in 2021. I think it's great. I think there's still a lot of room for other creators to come in the scene. I think we all bring something different to the community. This is my friend Dylan. So how did you get into collecting manga and content creating? So I already talked about what got me into collecting manga, Sailor Moon. I can blame Sailor Moon for everything. But content creation, I've been creating content online for over a decade, like old school YouTube, like when they had the star rating system instead of the thumbs up, thumbs down. Like I've been creating, yeah. The reason why I started creating videos when I was 18 years old was because, you know, I'm very introverted. I'm very bad at making friends in real life. So I just put myself online to see if I can find people that share the same interests as me. I also got a question from Erica. She's one of my TikTok mutuals. So what are some recommendations for manga with adult protagonists? I touched up on this a little bit earlier, so obviously the Watakoi is Swenso. Something's Wrong with Us also has adult characters. Perfect World, Sign of Affection. The Savior's Book Cafe Story in Another World. We have a 30-year-old woman, which is great. She and her cat also has an adult. I think she's like in her 20s. Restart after coming back home. Both of these men are in their mid-20s. This is another recent release. Daily Report About My Witch Senpai. They're both in their 20s as well. They're office workers. Any Maki and Joji series, they're usually in their 20s or 30s. Yeah, a lot of the BL as well. And last but not least, how to organize your manga collection. So there's no right or wrong way. There's a lot of different ways to organize your collection. I personally like to keep things in groups. I like to keep the shoujo with the shoujo and the spice with the spice and the other josei with, yeah. You get what I mean. Oh my god, I've been talking so long. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you ever have any questions, you can feel free to let me know in the comments below of this video. If you are looking for a direct answer, the best way to reach out to me is through direct messages or through Twitter. Twitter does a better job at displaying comments and questions, so yeah, you can reach out to me there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you're brand new, make sure to subscribe. If you don't follow me on TikTok and my other social media platforms, everything's listed in the information bar below. But thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for submitting those questions. I hope to do another Q&A in the near future. All right, take care, bye.